Embrace the fact that life is not always going to be puppies, kittens, and rainbows. Embrace the fact that you may have to work hard at things. Embrace that you're going to have challenging times. And embrace that most days are probably going to be more boring than you ever decided for them to be. Embrace that life is going to have moments and days where it sucks. And it's going to be boring, it's going to be grueling, it's going to be challenging at times, and it's going to move you in ways that you never thought that you could ever be moved. And life may also move you in ways that you never thought that you could be moved. But consciously accepting to push through days that are grueling, when things don't show up exactly how you thought that they would be, and taking those moments of wow, uncertainty, of maybe being disappointed, and of being downright low energy, and taking those moments where you're feeling like, especially as an entrepreneur, you're going to deal with moments that feel exactly like that, of almost feeling defeated in a sense, and taking those moments that where you're ready to give up, where you're ready to just drop it and really push through. And I know that this is one of those, this is very much military type of slang. I've never served, but I'm gonna still use it because I know people who've been in Nam, all right? And sometimes life nowadays feels like you're actually in Nam, but we're not. And this is real life right now. And this is the most uncertain time that most people have been in their lives. Can't speak for millennials though, but Gen Z definitely, this past 5 years of just nonstop next thing after the next of uncertainty, is just understanding wow, there is sucky parts of life. Understanding that leaning into discomfort, and some people also go out over and go and run towards discomfort. People who run towards discomfort are built different. But may I tell you guys that becoming someone who goes into business for yourself is one of the ways that naturally you do run towards discomfort. And if you're a person who aims to get better and better each day and on your self development journey, make videos about self development, about mindset, and also about entrepreneurship and my own experience as an entrepreneur, herbalist, businesswoman, web developer, whatever you want to call me. This is my identity, and this is a path that I've chosen right now in order to share my own experiences and my own stories, and to really let it in an audience. And if you guys resonate, the video is probably for you, and if it probably isn't. And understanding that the mindset that you go into things with is super important to the overall outcome of a situation. And as a woman of color, a Black woman, I definitely speak to certain issues of, especially not every single person's story is the same, especially a person who has my color. As a woman of color, let me tell you about the uncomfortable reality about society and all of these aspects. The reality of a situation and who you are compared to the reality of how things appear to be are two different and separate things. And understanding that I can only change but so much is one of the best ways of just accepting things just as they are. I and also understanding that sometimes in uncomfortable times is when you find that strength to really dig deeper, really unlocking parts of yourself through the struggle, through the low parts, and understanding, wow, I was actually able to do that. Or if you've had people that you've had to maybe defend yourself, if you've ever had to defend yourself, not physically, but verbally, or even talking about your reputation, that's one of the things that really being able to clear your own name and understanding that, wow, that discomfort of being in situations can actually lead you to building strength. Thinking of it as almost like exercising, for an example. Exercising, when you take into account what exercising is, you're literally ripping muscle in order to build and heal the muscle in order for it to become big and make muscle. Just the thought of having to do that, and that's how you're actually able to make gains, is crazy. So you actually rip the muscle in order for it to regrow back stronger, more capable. And that is the one of the reasons why discomfort is such an amazing part of that. and focusing on what you can control. As a person who is very much building a business that is based not only on faith, but based on their own mindset, based on their own experiences and journeys, understanding that, dang, you cannot change everything. You can't how people react. You can't change how people react to things. You can't change anything outside of yourself, but you can only control certain things in life. And a lot of those things lay within yourself and your own attributes. And I know it's easier said than done, but the way that we act and react to things really set in stone how our attitudes are for what we think and what we deem acceptable and what we're allowing ourselves to receive in life. And a lot of the times that I'm dealing with one-on-one coaching, I come across entrepreneurs who've had setbacks, who've dealing with issues, who are dealing with issues that they don't have any control over. No one can have control over whether Shopify decides to shut your account down and take your money. No one has control over that. But the one things that you do have control over are your attitude towards life. You cannot control scammers, you can't control circumstances, you can't control any of those things, but you can control your own reaction. And some things are also lessons to know better next time. And understanding that can help you even get better with your goals and your processes of how you decide that you go about doing things. And I made a video recently about overthinking and how that really plays a part in goal making. And so make sure you guys are also checking out that video about overthinking, because that really does talk to the choir about what it means to have productivity versus overthinking, what it has to have productivity versus in achieving your goals versus overthinking and stagnation are one of those things that are going to come up. They're going to be in your face, and especially if you decide that you are one of those people who never wants to deal with things. One of the hardest things that I see a lot of my one-on-one coaches dealing with is like building X, Y, and Z, but all of these hardships are coming up as I'm achieving this goal, as I'm going through this goal, and as I'm going through this period in my life. What am I gonna do? And the best thing I can tell you guys is that in those seasons of challenges, or those seasons of hardship, or those down moments, understanding that this too is going to pass in a way where as though you're probably going to come out stronger. If you don't come out stronger, you're going to come out probably better. And keeping that mindset in those moments of, well, what do I do next? How? And it definitely isn't easy to talk about challenges. And challenges definitely come up, especially as someone who does a lot of working with entrepreneurs and people are also on similar journeys, understanding that the challenges are there, the challenges are going to continue to be there, and trying to see things from a different view can definitely the difference between on life can be the difference between a good outlook and downright the opposite of what it is that you desire. And so I urge all of you watching this, take from this video, I hope that you take something positive from it and that you apply embracing the challenges that we face on a daily basis. I know it's easier said than done because some days are easier than others and some days are a challenge. And that is life in itself. And I think that if we take anything from this video, it's try to live a little bit more like Forrest Gump, I say in a sense. And so I leave you all with that little tidbit, and I hope that you guys took something from this video. And for all of you guys watching it, make sure you guys subscribe and also to comment really your own journey and not necessarily hardships, but what it is that you're overcoming, what it is that you've overcome in the past. And I hope that you guys have taken something from this video. And I will see you on the next one. And I hope that you guys have taken something from the video and that you turn around and change your whole existence and your whole life for the better. And keep strong and stay well. Peace.